You give, you don't get taxed. They receive, they build a better world. Wins all around, folks. Hey there, welcome back to Pleasant Financial Conversations. So I've noticed this trend with retirees lately where we've got people building up their 401ks or IRAs, stepping into retirement and spending a lot less than they anticipated. As such, they decide at some point that they're not going to spend that IRA, 401k, 403b, etc., and the desire to pass it on to somebody else. However, as I mentioned in my last video talking about required distributions, the IRS does require you at some point to start taking money out so that they can tax it. So, for you charitably inclined folks, this is the video for you. We're going to be talking about the qualified charitable distribution. But before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for a regular Pleasant Financial Conversation. And for you ladies who are looking for a safe place to ask those financial questions, join my online community, Pleasant Financial Conversations, over on Facebook, and I'll be glad to see you there. When you're an awesome saver and not as great at spending, you can tend to accumulate a lot in retirement accounts because of those tax incentives that you took advantage of when you were in your working career. And now that you're in retirement and have realized that you're not going to be spending as much money, you had thought, maybe I'll just let that retirement account sit long term, let it pass to my kids, or whatever your plans were. But of course, the IRS came around and said, hey, you need to start taking required distributions. And the problem with that is for a lot of my good savers that are highly attuned to what happens with taxation, they know that if they have to start taking that required distribution, it could impact your Social Security, your Medicare premiums, your tax bracket, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, it's not as desirable to take those required distributions. And that's where the qualified charitable distribution comes in for those of you who are charitably inclined. The qualified charitable distribution is a way that you take your required distribution, or really any distribution, from your IRA, 401k, pre-tax money, and send it directly to a nonprofit for their use however they want or however you designate them to use it, but you never touch the money. And for that, the IRS says that is a non-taxable event. You do not get taxed as ordinary income on the money that was sent out from your IRA. So here's what you need to know about the qualified charitable distribution. The first is that you need to be 70 and a half in order to initiate it. If you're a day younger than 70 and a half, no soup for you. No soup for you. You're gonna get taxed on the distribution that you made. So make sure that you are 70 and a half before you initiate that distribution. The second thing that you need to know is that you can take this QCD, qualified charitable distribution, and do up to $100,000 from any of your pre-tax retirement accounts in any given year. But you can't go over it. The third thing that you need to know is that you need to make sure that the money goes direct to the institution. You do not handle the money. You have to call the custodian of your 401k, IRA, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, to have them make the distribution directly to the nonprofit of your choice. If you touch the money, it kind of ruins the whole process and you'll probably get taxed on the money. The fourth thing to know is that you don't need to just pick one nonprofit to send money to. I have some clients, let's say that you have a $10,000 required distribution when you're 80 years old and you want to send that to several organizations. Maybe you have 10 for easy math. And so you want to get a $1,000 check to each of those folks. Well, you initiate that through your financial advisor. They're sending out through the custodian 10 different checks directly to the organizations, and you have made a nice impact on the world. The fifth thing to know is that really by doing this qualified charitable distribution, it's more tax efficient than if you were to take a required distribution for yourself, put it in your bank account, and then later decide to donate to an organization. So if you are charitably inclined, if you are already donating to organizations, you may as well send it directly from your IRA to get a slightly better tax efficiency. There's one thing that we all know, it's that we can't take money with us when we pass away. And so for those of you who are already charitably inclined, already giving money to organizations, using the QCD is a great strategy to further the impact that you're already desiring to have. And if there's one thing I'm all about in this one wild and precious life, it is creating the impact that we desire. And so if you are looking for a CFP to walk alongside you as you're making some of these retirement decisions, be that investment, income, tax, charitable decisions, I'd love to start a conversation with you. When we partner together in a one-to-one engagement, I walk alongside you and help you map out the needs that you have upcoming and also the desires that you have as you've looked at life and seen the impact that you want to have. We map it all out to make sure that your income needs are secure, but then also that you have the impact that you desire with the extra money on hand. So when you're ready for that conversation, reach out to me on my website, www.pleasantwealth.com, and request a meeting. And until next time, friends, you take care.